Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today I'm going to be doing my October update for my Pan That Palette 2021. This is done in collaboration with the PANtastic Ladies. The theme this year is tiny pans. If you've been keeping up with this project with me or honestly anybody else, you know just how freaking cute tiny things are. So I really just dove headfirst into this theme. So I not only have a palette, but I also have a couple of just tiny products in my collection that I've been trying to use up in addition to this Pan That palette. So first of all, I'm sorry the hair looking crazy. I woke up this morning with such intense back pain that I just stood in the shower for probably far too long trying to just unwind everything in my back. So I didn't really have time to do a whole lot. Also, I hope the lighting is fine. There is a very overcast day out in front of me and I was not paying attention and forgot to put on concealer. So sun coffee. Please, just sun coffee. Okay, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and talk about what I'm painting this year. So this is from Sleek Cosmetics. This is their When the Sun Goes Down mini palette. This has 12 eyeshadows in it that I'm trying to work my way through. So first things first, let's go ahead and see what it looked like last month. Okay, and this is what it's looking like now. Look at all that glorious pan. Look at it. I love seeing this palette so well used. So let's go ahead and talk about how many times I used each shadow and where we're looking to go. So as always, I will make sure to put up a couple of pictures, one of this month as well as last month, so that you can see that kind of progressional change. And let's talk about it. So the first shade in the palette I used 12 times since our last update. I really love this shadow. It has a lovely sort of pink undertone to it. I use it primarily to highlight my brow bone area, and I really enjoy it for that purpose. So that pan has expanded. I have hit side pan on it and it's going really, really well. The second shade in the palette I've used twice. Honestly, I use it pretty sparingly. I've been using it to deepen up my crease when I've been using the purple shade from my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan. When I take that piece out shade and I buff it all through the crease and sometimes even onto my lid itself, I'll take a little bit of this second shade and use it to just shadow and define the crease a little bit. And I think it works really well for that. Hopefully I will be able to get some more use, because it has occurred to me that after this update, we have one update and then we have the finale, which is bonkers to me, absolute bonkers. So again, I have used that one twice. The third shade in the palette, I have used a total of 6 times. It barely looks disturbed. The only thing I've really used it for is to highlight inner corners. It's actually how I'm using it today. It's very, very pretty for that. It definitely goes very well with the cooler tone silvery shades that are in the palette. It looks really, really stunning that way as well. So I've been enjoying using it that way, but if I'm going to use that shadow up, I have to find a different way to use it that will allow me to use more product. The fourth shade in the palette I have also used 6 times since our last update. I have typically been using this just to smudge along the lower lash line. It's a little bit difficult to get to the product because it has so much pan in it. So we'll talk a little bit about my plans for this palette at the end. So yes, 6 times additionally since our last update. The fifth shade in this palette I have used a whopping 21 times since our last update, which is crazy. Again, just like that first shade in the palette, I use it primarily as a brow bone and inner corner highlight shade, and it's really pretty. They're both very pretty shades for that purpose. The sixth shade in the palette I have used 4 times. I was really, really hoping to get pan in there before this update, but we didn't quite get there, which is fine, I think. So yes, 4 times since our last update, so we are definitely trucking right along there. The 7th shade in the palette, I think you'll be able to see that I have expanded the pan there. I've actually used that an additional 8 times. I've been using it mostly in the way that I'm using it today. So it is on sort of the inner third of my lid, and then I have the 12th shade on sort of the center branching outwards, and then just a deeper brown in the outer corner. And I've really enjoyed using it in that way. So an additional 8 times since our last update. So very happy with the progress there. The 8th shadow in this, I have also, yes, I've used an additional 4 times. Much like the shade on the top row, the 4th shade, it is one that I typically use just kind of smudged along the lower lash line with some of the looks that I've been putting together. So I don't know that you'll be able to see a difference because, again, it's just really clinging to that outer perimeter. 9 and 10 are already gone. The 11th shade I've only used once, so you probably won't be able to see any changes there. It's a very pretty silver shade. It's not quite as dark on the lid as it is in the pan, which is a nice thing to have happen there. So going to need to step up that usage as well. And then the 12th shade in this palette I have used 4 times. Again, this has been kind of that go-to look, and I was really hoping that I could hit pan, but I'm not anywhere near it on this one, so definitely need to step up my usage there. So I did reasonably well this past month as far as using this. I've been a bit distracted. I have a lot of eyeshadows going on in different projects, plus ooh, I got a little spend happy, and I've been purchasing some new eyeshadow palettes. They've just had some really awesome releases. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you will have seen some of the looks that I have put together using, for instance, my Nomad Cosmetics Haunted Europe palette, which is so freaking pretty. I've been using some other things as well. So I haven't shown the dedicated attention to this that I really should have, but I still have time, right? I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about the other items that are in this project. So the one that has been in the longest is this teeny tiny little bitty lip color from Bobbi Brown. This is in the shade Smoothie Move. This is their crushed liquid lip. I really enjoy this formula a lot. I've used it 7 times since our last update, and I did finally pull this stopper. It was just getting so difficult to pull product out, which is, oh, I'm getting a phone call. Hold on. Well, that was interesting. So I have pulled the stopper on this, but there is still so much product in here. And it's so strange because when you just look at it as is, it honestly looks exactly the same as it did when I pulled it into this project, which is really kind of trippy to have so much of the product used up and for it to not visually change at all. Like, I know that it's clear packaging because you can kind of see, or hopefully the camera will pick it up, like you can see through it. So there are gaps there that have always been there. So I know that it's clear packaging, but I don't know, friends. If I did not mention, I have worn this 7 times since our last update, so we are moving quite along with it, but I'm so curious to see how many uses it's going to take, because wow. The other product that I have going in this, I did not actually show you last month because I didn't have it with me, but I inserted a picture. This is what I had. This is from Bobbi Brown as well, and this is the Illuminating Moisture Balm. This is a primer, and this is how small it is, and it was not completely full. I'll be very honest with you. It doesn't, oh yes it does. This only has 5 mils in it, so there was not a ton. It is used up completely. I used it 9 times. I didn't cut it open because I was pretty sure I got all of it out, and there wasn't that much to begin with. So this is an empty, used up, very excited. I don't need to be keeping these admittedly adorable tiny products in my collection. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm very happy that this is used up. I liked it. It was a nice illuminating primer. It was illuminating without being like sparkly. It also didn't make my look oily and sweaty, which sometimes can happen on my skin. So I did really enjoy this. However, for the price point, it's not something that I would actually purchase. There are other illuminating primers that do just as lovely of a job at a lower price point. So while I'm very happy to have used this up and had the experience with it, it's not something that I'm going to actually purchase. So that does mean that we're going to be bringing something new in its place. So I have a mascara. This is from MAC. There we go. I think that's upside down. Let's try this again. This is from MAC. This is their 3D Extension Mascara. This is really small. This has, does not say how much is in here, but it can't possibly be much. I used it today on top of my Climax mascara from NARS, which is in another project rather. And it was fine. It took some work building it up, but this has probably only got a couple of weeks of use in there. So I would really like to get this used up and out because, again, as cute as these tiny things are, they're kind of taking over my life and I need to work them all out. So this is going to be coming in place of that primer from Bobbi Brown. So let's talk about what I want to do with this. So I had spoken last month about considering frankening a couple of the shadows in here, and I don't know why I was feeling weird about it. Like when I watch other people's project pans, or Pan That Palette more specifically, they franken stuff all the time. I don't know. I think it's because I would then have pans cleared out, and I don't know why that made me feel like I was being disingenuous or something. Just because the product has shifted from one space to another, it doesn't mean that it's not there anymore. I don't know why I was feeling so weird about it. So I am going to go ahead and do some frankening in here. In fact, I might film it and put it up for you guys. Let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in seeing. But what I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to combine this first shade here with the 5th shade down here and just put it into one. It's also been suggested that I use it as a highlighter, which I don't know why I didn't think of, because that's a so smart idea. The pans are so small though, I don't know how well that's gonna work because I don't know that I can get my brush in there, but we're gonna give it a try once I've frankened everything together because I'm curious to see what that would look like. I think I'm also going to put together these shades, so this one right here and then this one right here. They're both kind of bronzy olivey shades, just one is a bit deeper than the other. So I think I'm going to mix those together and create just one shadow out of those, and that'll help condense things down a little bit. I'm also kind of toying with the idea of adding just a little bit of the gold into it because I don't want it to get too dark, but I'm not sure. I probably won't make that decision until I'm in the moment, but this will definitely look very different next month. Depending on when I actually franken it, I may or may not be able to pop a picture in now. Hopefully I did. I have no idea. My days are so wild these days. So yeah, definitely excited to see some big changes next month in this project, and it would be great if I actually saw big changes because I was using it all up. Anyway, as always, everything that I am panning as well as everything that I'm wearing on my face will be linked in the description box below. Huge shout out to the PANtastic Ladies for creating such a fun project, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. And if you are working on this project or just Pan That Palette in general, let me know how it's going for you. Are you feeling good about it, or have you had that sort of panicked realization that I have? The end of the year is really close. Let me know. I love chatting with you guys down in the comments. If you have not yet subscribed, I hope that you'll consider doing so. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.